Princess Veilen had been told that the human guard was useless. She believed them. For 30 seconds. Then Cole Danner walked through her security gate, looked at 12 armed guards, 3 cameras, 2 emergency exits, and the ceiling vents, and quietly asked why the compound had no second escape route. Nobody had told him there was a problem. He had simply seen it. Veilen of the Vetari Third House had not wanted a human bodyguard. She wanted an elite protector with a long combat record, advanced armor, and enough experience to keep assassins away from her. But her council had cut her security budget. So she searched the guard network. Hundreds of names appeared. Alien soldiers. Former royal guards. Mercenaries. Special agents. Then she found Cole Danner. Human. Unclassified contractor. No combat rank. No military decorations. No recorded battles. No special abilities. And, strangely, the cheapest guard on the entire network. Her advisor Cell had looked at the listing and frowned. Princess, this man has almost no history. That is why he is cheap. That is also why he may be dangerous. Veilen had laughed. Dangerous? His file says he has never served in combat. Cell had looked at her. His file says many things. She hired him anyway. The next morning, Cole arrived carrying one small black bag. No armor. No visible weapon. No bodyguards. He looked almost ordinary. That was what bothered Veilen. People who wanted to look dangerous usually made sure everyone noticed. Cole did the opposite. He walked through the compound like a man who had already memorized it. At the reception desk, Veilen studied him. You are Cole Danner? Yes. I am Princess Veilen. I know. You know who I am. I read the contract. That answer surprised her. Most guards read only the payment section. Cole had apparently read everything. Veilen pointed toward the hallway. Your room is on the 2nd floor. Cole nodded. Then he looked past her. Your west corridor is exposed. Veilen frowned. What? The camera near the west entrance has a blind angle. She turned. The camera looked normal. How did you notice that? Cole shrugged. Habit. He walked away. Veilen watched him disappear around the corner. For the first time, she wondered if hiring him had been a mistake. 3 days later, she stopped wondering. Every morning, Cole trained alone in the courtyard. There were no weapons. No machines. No heavy armor. He simply moved. Slow steps. Sudden turns. Balance drills. Small hand movements. Sometimes he stood perfectly still for several minutes. To the other guards, it looked like strange exercise. To Veilen, who had studied threat assessment since childhood, it looked like something else. He was practicing reactions. Not strength. Not speed. Reaction. He was preparing for attacks that had not happened yet. One morning she finally asked him, "Where did you learn that?" Cole continued moving. Different places. Military. No. Combat Academy. No. Then what? He stopped. Experience. He walked away before she could ask more. That same afternoon, Cell entered Veilen's office holding a security tablet. His face was pale. I checked Cole Danner's file. And it is worse than I thought. Veilen leaned forward. How? His file isn't empty. Then what is missing? Everything important. Cell placed the tablet on her desk. There are classification restrictions hidden beneath the public record. Someone removed his military history. Veilen stared at the screen. Who? Cell lowered his voice. The Concordat Strategic Operations Division. Veilen's expression changed. That department did not classify ordinary soldiers. It classified people whose names could cause political problems. Active operative? She asked. Cell shook his head. Maybe retired. That would explain the missing record. No, Princess. It explains something worse. He turned the tablet toward her. A single authorization trace appeared. Subject status. Black level security interest. Veilen looked at the name again. Cole Danner. The cheap guard. The man with no combat history. The man who had arrived with one small bag. Why would the Concordat hide a retired contractor? Cell looked toward the courtyard. Cole was standing there alone, watching the sky. Because, Cell said quietly, someone doesn't want us to know what he used to be. Veilen decided to ask him that evening. She never got the chance. The next day, she attended a major trade conference. Hundreds of diplomats filled the hall. Security scanners checked every person. Every weapon was registered. Every identity was verified. Veilen felt safe. Cole did not. He stood behind her, silent. For almost an hour, he watched the crowd. Then Veilen noticed his eyes stop on two diplomats entering from the eastern doors. They looked completely normal. Their clothing was correct. Their credentials were genuine. Their names were on the guest list. But Cole moved one step closer to her. Problem? Veilen whispered. Cole did not answer immediately. His eyes remained fixed on the two diplomats. Then, very quietly, he said, "Maybe." Veilen followed his gaze. One of the men suddenly reached inside his coat. Cole moved before Veilen even understood why. And the princess realized, far too late, that the cheapest guard in the galaxy had been waiting for this moment. One of the diplomats reached inside his coat. Cole moved. There was no warning, no shout, no hesitation. His hand caught the man's wrist before the weapon cleared the coat. The attacker tried to pull away. Cole twisted once. The weapon dropped. A second attacker appeared behind Veilen. Cole turned before the man could raise his weapon. 3 seconds later, both attackers were on the floor. The conference hall went silent. Veilen stared at Cole. The security teams had barely understood what happened. Cole simply picked up the fallen weapon and handed it to a guard. "Secure them." Then he turned toward Veilen. "Are you hurt?" "No." "Good." Veilen looked at the two attackers. "How did you know?" Cole glanced at their credentials. "They were perfect." "That doesn't answer my question." "Their hands weren't." Veilen frowned. "Their hands. People who use official credentials every day hold them differently." He looked at the attackers. They were pretending. Veilen felt a chill. She had spent years studying security. She had never heard anyone identify an assassin by the way he held an identification card. Inside the secured transport, she finally confronted him. "You knew about them." "I suspected." "For how long?" "About an hour." "You should have warned me." "They hadn't acted." "You waited for them?" "I needed to know who they were working for." Veilen stared at him. "You could have gotten me killed." Cole looked out the window. "No." His voice was calm. "I wouldn't have allowed that." Something about the way he said it made her stop. Not confidence. Certainty. Veilen sat across from him. "Who trained you?" "No one." "That is a lie." Cole looked at her. "I learned from people who were better than me." "And where are they now?" "Most are dead." Silence filled the transport. Veilen lowered her voice. "Your file has a strategic operations restriction." "I know." "You knew I would investigate." "Yes." "Then why come here?" Cole looked at her. "Your contract was available. You could work for anyone." "I wanted something quiet." Veilen almost laughed. "A quiet job?" "Yes." "You chose the wrong princess." For the first time, the corner of Cole's mouth moved. "I noticed." The transport suddenly shook. The pilot shouted something from the cockpit. Warning lights turned red. Veilen grabbed the side rail. What happened? Cole was already standing. Route compromised. The transport shook again. This time, a deep explosion echoed outside. Veilen looked toward the sealed doors. "Are we under attack?" Cole reached inside his jacket. "Yes." He pulled out a small black weapon. Veilen had never seen anything like it. It had no visible manufacturer mark. No military serial. No standard energy cell. "Where did you get that?" Cole ignored the question. He walked toward the rear door. Stay behind me. The door exploded inward. 2 armored figures rushed through. The first fired. Cole moved sideways. The energy blast passed inches from him. He closed the distance instantly. 1 strike. The attacker fell. The second raised his weapon. Cole threw the first attacker's weapon across the cabin. It struck the second man's hand. The weapon flew away. Cole crossed the remaining distance and dropped him. Veilen stared. The entire fight had lasted less than 5 seconds. Cole looked at her. Still think I'm unqualified? She slowly shook her head. No. Good. The transport landed at an emergency diplomatic station. But Cole did not relax. He looked toward the city. Something is wrong. Veilen stepped beside him. What? The first attack was meant to expose me. And the second? To move you. Move me where? Home. Her eyes narrowed. At that exact moment, Cell arrived with a royal emergency order. Princess, the council demands that you return to Vet-Ari space immediately. Cole took the message. He read it once. Don't go. Veilen looked at him. Why? The order is fake. Cell stared. That is a royal command. Cole pointed to the authorization code. It hasn't been used in 12 years. Cell's face changed. How do you know that? Cole looked at him. Because I helped create it. Nobody spoke. Veilen stepped closer. You helped create the Vet-Ari security system? Part of it. Who are you? Cole did not answer. Instead, he looked through the station window. Several guards were moving toward the building. He counted them. 1. Then another. 2. Another. 3. Cell reached for his weapon. How many? Cole's eyes continued moving. 8. Veilen looked outside. They're our guards. No. Cole's voice became colder. They're wearing your guards' uniforms. The lights suddenly went out. Darkness swallowed the station. A shot echoed through the corridor. Then another. Cole grabbed Veilen's arm. Move. He pulled her through a side door just as energy fire tore through the wall behind them. Cell followed. They entered an old maintenance corridor. Veilen looked at Cole. How do you know where this goes? I don't. He stopped. But I know where it should go. They reached a sealed door. Cole touched the control panel. Nothing happened. Cell whispered. This section was closed decades ago. Cole removed a small device from his pocket. The door opened. Behind it was a forgotten underground chamber. An ancient terminal stood in the center. Veilen stared. What is this? Emergency Concordat communication system. Cell shook his head. That system was destroyed. Officially. Cole activated the terminal. The screen remained black for several seconds. Then a message appeared. Identity confirmed. Veilen stepped closer. Another line appeared. Cole Danner, Strategic Commander Class. Cell went pale. Commander. Veilen looked at Cole. You told me you were an unclassified contractor. I am. That says Strategic Commander. It isn't a public classification. The terminal displayed another message. Authority level, black. Veilen felt her stomach tighten. What did you command? Cole remained silent. An army? No. A special unit? No. Then what? Cole finally looked at her. Things that were never supposed to exist. Before Veilen could ask another question, the terminal began flashing. An incoming transmission appeared. Cole opened it. A distorted alien voice filled the chamber. Commander Danner. Cole froze. The voice continued. You should have stayed hidden. Veilen looked at him. The speaker laughed. Do you remember the Orion Gate? Cole's expression hardened. Who are you? The voice ignored him. Do you remember what happened when your fleet disappeared? Veilen looked between them. The object that emerged from the darkness was so large that Veilen could not understand what she was seeing. It was a human warship. Its dark hull blocked the stars as it entered orbit, followed by smaller vessels. Defense systems locked onto the fleet. Then the human flagship transmitted one message. "Do not fire." The Black Fleet opened fire. Energy filled the sky as human ships advanced, striking enemy command ships with frightening precision. "What kind of fleet is this?" she whispered. Cole was watching the largest ship. Its name appeared across the tactical screen. Earth Sentinel. Veilen turned toward him. "You know it." "Yes." "What is it?" Cole looked at the ship. "My old command vessel." Cell stared. "You commanded that?" "Once." "Then why did you retire?" "Because I was tired of war." Veilen stepped closer. "And now?" "Now someone reminded us why we learned to fight." The battle spread across orbit. But Cole suddenly looked toward the old archive chamber. "We need to move." "Why?" "The fleet isn't the real target." Veilen understood. "The archive." He nodded. They raced through the underground passage as enemy soldiers entered behind them. Cole stopped at a sealed door. "Stay here." Veilen shook her head. "No. You are my guard. Protect me." For the first time, Cole smiled. "Fair enough." They entered the ancient Vetari archive. Veilen placed her hand against the crystal. The chamber awakened. Thousands of stars appeared around them. Then one world began to glow. Earth. Veilen stared. "It is real." Another hidden symbol appeared beside Earth. "What is that?" "I don't know." The archive displayed an ancient message. "The Concordat must never find the human gate." Cole whispered, "The human gate." The message continued. "The gate cannot be opened by humans alone." Veilen's eyes widened. "Who can open it?" The archive responded. "The heir of the third house." Silence filled the chamber. Veilen looked at her hand. "My family. That is why they want you." A voice came from the doorway. "Correct." The black armored commander entered with several soldiers. "Step away from the archive." Cole moved in front of Veilen. The commander laughed. "You spent 10 years hiding. Now you will watch humanity lose everything again." Cole looked at him. "No." The commander fired. Cole moved. The shot passed beside him. He reached the first soldier before the others could react. Two fell. Veilen activated the archive. A pulse of energy swept through the chamber. Every weapon shut down. The commander stared at his dead weapon. "What did you do?" Veilen looked at the crystal. "I opened the treaty." A massive transmission spread across the galaxy, carrying the ancient agreement between humanity and the Vetari Third House. The Concordat had lied. Humanity was declared a threat because it refused a system built on fear. Then the final part of the treaty appeared. If the Concordat breaks the peace, the signatories will stand together. Across the galaxy, Vetari ships, trade fleets, and former enemy colonies joined the humans. World after world refused to obey the Concordat. The Black Fleet suddenly found itself surrounded. The commander looked at Cole. "You planned this." Cole shook his head. "No." He looked at Veilen. "She did." The battle ended before sunrise. The Black Fleet surrendered. The truth about Earth was finally revealed. Earth was alive. Humanity had not disappeared. It had been waiting. For 10 years, humans had rebuilt their fleets, colonies, and alliances, preparing for the day someone tried to erase them again. But they had never planned to conquer the galaxy. Weeks later, Veilen found Cole in the courtyard, packing his small bag. "You are leaving." "My contract is over." "You nearly started a war." "I stopped one." "You exposed humanity." "They were going to find us anyway." Veilen folded her arms. "You still want a quiet job?" "Yes." She laughed. "You are terrible at quiet jobs." She held out a new contract. "Work for me." Cole read it. "Chief Security Advisor?" "Yes." "Expensive." "It is." "Can you afford me?" Veilen smiled. "No." "Then why hire me?" She looked toward the stars. "Because I finally understand what everyone else missed." Cole waited. The cheapest guard was never the weakest person in the room. She looked at him. He was the person nobody was supposed to notice. Cole folded the contract. Sounds like a problem. It is. Above them, human and Vetari ships crossed the sky together. One message reached every world. Earth is alive. Humanity is awake. And this time, humanity is not alone. Cole looked at the stars. The galaxy finally discovered what Veilen learned on the first day. The cheapest human guard had never been cheap. He had simply been hiding his true price. And the price of threatening the people under his protection had always been far too high.